All right, we back with a follow-up on the story I did a few days ago about a mother and son being hit by a Missouri City police officer. He T-boned them and they died on the scene, and it sounded like they were covering up a bunch of stuff. They don't want to give details and be transparent about what's actually going on. And they come to find out that the officer didn't have his lights running at the time of the accident, which is against police policy. Also, he had they're not saying whether it was a suspect or a arrestee in the back of the vehicle when the accident happened. They're just not being transparent with the whole situation. I'll leave a link to the previous video in the description, but let's get into it. Missouri City PD officer relieved of duty for crash that killed mother and teen son, department says. According to police, the officer's vehicle's emergency lights were not turned on at the time of the crash. A Missouri City police officer has been relieved of duty after being involved in a crash that killed a mother and her son last week, authorities announced Thursday. According to the Texas Department of Public Safety, 27-year-old officer Vladimir Viros did not have his emergency lights on at the time of the deadly crash. The victims, identified as 53-year-old Angela Stewart, a Houston ISD counselor, and her 16-year-old son, Mason Stewart, were hit by the Missouri City police car on June 20th after an officer received a call of a robbery in progress. Viveros was said to be driving over the posted speed limit in the 1600 block of Cartwright Road. The officer was responding to an ATM robbery and was heading eastbound in the 16 to 1700 block of Cartwright Road when the Stewarts pulled out of the Dollar Tree parking lot. That's when the officer T-boned their vehicle, police said. In a release on Thursday, Missouri City PD said the Stewarts failed to yield the right-of-way before being hit by the police car. If his lights are not on, there is no right-of-way. Mason had received his license recently and was driving, officials added. He and his mother died at the scene. The family of the victims told ABC 13 it was Mason's 16th birthday. Viveros was taken to a hospital but was released shortly after. Witnesses had described the crash, saying they heard a loud sound and then saw the police cruiser crash into the other vehicle and catch fire. Hours after the crash happened, a person was found in the back of the police cruiser, authorities told ABC 13. The person in the back seat of the cruiser has been identified as 53-year-old Michael Hawkins. Police said he was taken to Bend Tube Hospital, where he is still being treated. Missouri City Police would not tell ABC 13 why Hawkins was in the back of the vehicle, but confirmed he was not doing a ride-along. Why aren't they saying why that man was in that vehicle? See, that's not being transparent. Either he was an arrestee or was something nefarious going on. Now, what's really happening? And why can't they answer these questions? Hawkins' friends told ABC 13 he is paralyzed from the waist down and is on life support at the hospital. Video shows first responders frantically pulling him out of the cruiser to give him aid. However, police haven't been able to explain why that person was in the back of the patrol car or why it took so long to discover the person was there. Exactly. That's the question I asked in the last video. I think they said he was in the car for like an hour before they removed him. And my original guess was that they was going to let him pass. That way, dead men tell no secrets. But let's continue. Just my assumption. Where was that? Last week, police say they are still investigating why he was in the cruiser, as it goes against policy for officers to respond to calls if they already have someone in custody. Missouri City Police said the officer has been with the department for just under a year. He came to Missouri City from a prior agency where he had about 2 years of experience. Viveros has since been relieved of duty as the investigation continues. The Missouri City Police Department wants to assure the public we are committed to blah, 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 blah. That same bullshit. Police said once the investigation is complete, it will be submitted to the Fort Bend County District Attorney's Office for review. ViRALD's family told ABC they have no comment. The Stewart family sent ABC 13 this statement on Thursday afternoon. The family of Angela and Mason Stewart continue to grieve and process this tragedy. We are trying to stay focused on supporting each other and our friends, family, and loved ones. We lost our beloved wife, mother, brother, and son because of the dangerous actions of a Missouri City police officer. We hope this decision helps to avoid more tragedies and saves another family from experiencing the sorrow of losing two loved ones. We also hope to see more changes to ensure safer police procedures in serving our wonderful community. Okay, they still not being transparent. And this officer, he's been relieved of duty. That's good. He should not work as a police officer ever again after killing two people in such a terrible way, a mother and a son. And you read the statement from the police officer saying they didn't yield the right of way. I don't like shit like that, because that's not true. If he's not running his lights, there is no right of way. And he's speeding. What right of way? That's why police officers have lights on their cruisers and sirens. This officer, him being relieved of his duty and never working as an officer again is not enough for me. I believe this officer should receive manslaughter. What's manslaughter? The act of killing someone and not intention. The act of killing someone, but it wasn't intentional. If you or me make a mistake and somebody dies, we get manslaughter, whether we meant to do it or not. We get manslaughter. Well, obviously, if you meant to do it, that'd be first degree murder. But accidental death, where you doing something, say you driving and something happens where somebody might run out in the street and you didn't have time to react, they'll give you manslaughter for that. You didn't try to do it. It wasn't intentional, but you still made a mistake and you pay for that mistake. These officers need to be held with the same accountability as the rest of us. 2 counts of manslaughter. Yes. Okay. This guy in the back seat, why aren't they releasing the information about why he was in the back seat and why it took them an hour to get him out? Still more questions to be answered from the Missouri City Police Department. And hopefully after this investigation, whoever the prosecutor is, will prosecute this officer for manslaughter. My condolences goes out to this family. That's a hard loss. 2 in one day, a mother and son, 16th birthday. Definitely need manslaughter. The family not saying it, but I'll say it. This officer needs to be tried for manslaughter. That's it. It's the right thing to do. It's the just thing to do. All right, we're going to close it out. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we will see you on the next one.